Hi, it's Mahlanja and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version of the game on Xbox. And today I'm going to talk about tips for trading, as in defending yourself, and also tips for trading now EDDB's gone. It'd be much missed. Back in the day when I was just a trader, I used to go on EDDB and I used to go from system to system, trading the most profitable thing, just one system after another, just pottering around in my Type 7. And that would be an evening's entertainment for me and Pokey. That was a long time ago now. Who'd have thought I'd be a space pirate? Because I spent the first 3 years just being a trucker. And as I spent those years being a trucker, I'm very used to escaping and evading in trade ships. Now, my main tip when it comes to survival in a trade ship is build it to survive. Don't skimp on your engineering just because you're in a trade ship. You want at least 1,000 shields. I have 2 shield boosters, a heat sink and a point defense covering the cargo hatch, and 1,000 shields is about where you want to be. Now I've got 716 tons and 1,000 shields, and that's plenty on a Type 9. All I'm going to do is, when someone tries to inflict me, I'm going to submit, pop a heat sink and high wake out immediately. If you filter your nav panel so it's just showing systems and stations, it's very quick to high wake out. You're not messing around flicking through everything. You just pick pop a heatsink, dive in there, click something, start charging. It's not that painful. And 1,000 shields is just about enough. Make sure you've got 4 pips into systems, and 1,000 shields should about hold up against most threats. I've been attacked by some very potent ships in it. I've tested it with a Wing of 3 attacking me with 2 Anacondas in it, and I've just about survived. And I mean just about, but decent enough. I mean, my Type 7 has, I think, nearly 600 shields, but, because of its superior jump range and the fact that it's got a big fuel tank, I can do some dirty tricks to escape from people. And the main thing to remember, if you're being attacked and hunted by people, there's always other places to go. There are 20,000 inhabited systems in this game, so if people are somewhere attacking people, you can always go elsewhere and do your thing. And if they're coming after you system after system, there are things you can do. One of my favourites is to flick off all destinations and just fly out into supercruise. You've got a larger fuel tank on a trade ship than any combat ship has. They will have to give up chasing you eventually, and trust me, it's really good fun annoying them in comments. But my record is someone chasing me for 40 odd minutes, so I know what it's like to be hunted system to system. I used to have lawfuls that hunted me on a daily basis and hunted me system to system. I added this clip in because it will make Scooby smile. This is me doing a Scooby and not requesting docking. But like I said, I've been hunted system to system by groups of people in the past, and it's not bothered me because it's very easy to go somewhere they're not. And if they're using the menus to track you or your friends list to track you, you can always remove them from your friends list so they can no longer track you. It's a bit sad to have to do that, but if they're persistently hunting you system after system, day after day, week after week for months, it's worth doing because it's just easier that way. I mean, they always complained about it, but it was like, well, we're not friends, we're clearly not friends, so why do you want to be on my friends list? Used to send me abusive messages and then say they wanted to be on my friends list. It's like, no. But yeah, if you're being hunted system to system by people, don't have them on your friends list, that way they can't track you. You can appear offline, they won't even know you're online. You can carry on doing whatever you want, and they won't even know you're doing it. Now, luckily these days I don't have to resort to those sort of tactics because the lawfuls no longer play this game, and nobody else has ever been that bothered to chase me that persistently. I mean, I get away. I've got 2 bounties on me at the moment, and I'm still doing my merit grind for power play. I'm still stacking up wing missions for the guys and sharing wing missions out. So I'm going to do what I want to do. A couple of people did pop down and see me while I was mining, but they soon got bored. And I mean, where I go mining, my carrier is like 170,000 light seconds from the star and stuff, so it's not exactly the most accessible place, and it's not that interesting looking at an asteroid ring not knowing where the hell I am. And I'm in there somewhere in a Type 9 filling up 550 tons of cargo hold with bromulite. So, you know, it's not worth hunting me a lot of the time, because I'm a royal pain in the arse, because I will just fly out into Super Cruise and laugh and take the mick, and as I did to one lawful, go and cook breakfast and come back with some bacon sarnies and type messages having a laugh while they chase me for 40 odd minutes in Super Cruise. The great thing about trade ships is you've got a massive fuel tank, so you know, if they're chasing you system to system, you can jump more places than they can. If they're chasing you in Super Cruise, you can just keep going for a lot longer than they can. So all in all, you're not that disadvantaged. And if you don't stimp on your engineering and you build your trade ship right, it's very easy to survive. As long as you've got about 1,000 shields, decent amount of hull. Heat sinks are a must. People ask me why, but they stop things locking onto you, they stop things targeting systems, and they mean you don't overheat when you're pushing it a bit or trying to escape really quickly. And yeah, and if you just sensibly submit, then high wake, you can always get away. Because if you submit and high wake, your FSD cooldown is so short. Whereas if you get trapped by them, if they beat you in interdiction, you're stuck for 40 seconds. That can get painful, even with 1,000 shields and 4 pips to shields. You know, you just want to submit and high wake and get out the quick way. Now, as to dealing with the demise of EDDB and other trade resources, you can still use a Nara, and you can still use the galaxy map to identify systems by type. One of the things I like to do is look for industrial systems where they spawn missions for mining that can be done by purchasing the goods. But I like to do the ones that take mining. I actually do the bromulite ones. What I do is when I'm busy with real life, I'll go down and do some mining, because I can step away from the game, I can do whatever I want, run around with the animals while I just leave my ship collecting fragments in an asteroid field. And by the time I get back, I'm just ready to, you know, scan another rock, mine a bit more. So when I'm busy in life, I do a lot of mining, and I use that mining to stack up and complete off-wing missions on a regular basis for the Dark Marauders. I'll go and get 3,000 tons of bromulite and then complete, you know, missions with that 3,000 tons. Those missions pay reasonably well. They're about 25 to 30 million, and if you look at the fact that 4 people are getting that reward, you have to think of it like that way, that it, you know, makes sense, because 4 people are making that money, and 4 people, that's 120 million. That's not bad. If you look at it and go like, well, I'm doing all this mining for 25 million, it'll drive you nuts. But if you're thinking about it in terms of the whole wing, it's not bad. And if you get 4 people reciprocating wing missions, you can make huge amounts of money very quickly. A wing of 4 all doing 50 mil wing missions, sharing is like 4.5 to 5 billion credits shared across that wing, just from that evening's like activity. And if you do the missions you can buy stuff for, like gold, silver, gallite and bertrandite, you can get through those missions very, very quickly. Though it does take a while to stack them up.
Eventually.
But for me, the bromulite ones, it's just a matter of taking it off my carrier and shifting it over here, and then picking up the odd mission in between for other stuff that was worth 50 million or worth doing. In this case, I was concentrating more on mats than I was on money, because I was sharing this with Deck and Meta. Meta needs money for a carrier, Deck's after materials for engineering. So, you know, the only painful part, and honestly this is the painful part, is waiting for people to accept the wing missions when you share them with them. Because they're always doing something. They're either pirating, fighting, doing something silly, or jumping their carrier somewhere, and you get stuck for ages hitting the share button and waiting. But minor frustrations aside, I do actually like doing this for the guys. I quite often share wing missions. It's something I've always done, and yeah, a good few 100 million across the group helps out massively. And like I say, the materials are not too shabby. And all it takes is finding a good industrial system with some stations near the star, and then looking for extraction systems nearby, and just getting allied with everyone so you get those good juicy mining missions. And if the place is in expansion, it'll go nuts. Mahlanja is the best place for this, but other systems do exist. One moment.
Eventually.
And yeah, finally they're all going to accept the wing mission, and then I can share that one. And I've only got to share all the rest of them, so it won't take that long. Once they get in the groove, it's not too painful. But that first wing mission you share, it takes ages for them to accept. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll catch you in the next video. And that's all. Thank you very much for watching.